What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. So I'm starting off this video at a customer right now. I'm getting unloaded. So if you clicked on this video, it's obvious that you're thinking about truck driving. So you're either in school, trying to get your CDL, so you're doing your hours in school, or you're probably at a job right now and you're thinking about truck driving. So yeah, I just wanted to make this video to try to inform you guys on what to expect when you first start truck driving. So two things you need to know when you start truck driving. I think these are the most important things that you're gonna encounter when you start truck driving. Patience and time when you come onto truck driving. Time is because it's not your average 9-to-5 job, and that's something I learned too. Coming out to my first job as a truck driver, I thought it was gonna be like 8-9 hours, a day, but I eventually found out those work days were gonna be a lot longer, 12-13 hour work days, sometimes even 14. And once you start getting used to like the policies and the drive time and the hours of service, you're actually only allowed to drive a maximum of 11 hours and be on duty for 3. So that's a total of 14 hours of work. As soon as you get on to like a company or whatever and you start going over these rules and regulations, that's when you'll start to find out, if this thing is really for you or not. Let's just say, for example, you got to be out by 2 or 3 in the afternoon, right? You start your shift, cool. And especially if you're doing intermodal, you might not come out at 2 or 3, just because every day is different. Especially in the rail yards, you'll get stuck there for hours, just depending on the day and the time you go to the rail yards. So yeah, just talking about time, that's not gonna happen. So I gotta, I just want to be realistic. You don't know what time you're gonna get off every day. So sometimes you might get off early, sometimes you might get off super late, sometimes you might end up having to work those 14 hours. But yeah, it's just something you gotta have when you come into truck driving. It's just the time, you gotta have time to spare, in this job. If you have a family, and you have like 3 newborns or 2 newborns and you need to be home at a certain time, that's not gonna happen. It might happen if you get a dedicated route with your company and you make like 3-4 stops, but it's just time, man. It's if you have like a family emergency and you're stuck at a yard, like what are you gonna do? You can't just leave your truck there. I mean, you could technically leave if you want, but it's just something nobody would do. If you're driving a company truck, you can't just leave it at the rail yard, right? Or you might just end up driving to a customer that's about 2 or 3 hours away from where you live, and something happens, something goes on. If you're expecting to be home at a certain time, it's rarely gonna happen, just because, like I said, every day is different. Just don't ever expect to like make plans and stick with the plans that you make, because you just don't know what time you're gonna get off of work. Patience is too. The reason why I say this is because throughout my months working, for intermodal, you really bump heads with a lot of rail yard workers or even other truck drivers. A lot of people that are not happy doing what they do, or just cranky, early in the morning. But majority of the people that I really bumped heads with were rail yard workers. I'm always trying to stay positive, but you always bump into somebody at the rail yard that just has some attitude, and it just makes your day even worse, even harder. But you just gotta have patience. If you're one of those tough guys that don't really take anything from anybody, you gotta learn how to actually control that, because that can actually cost you your job, right? And patience, again, like I said, besides bumping heads with other drivers or rail yard workers, it is more about the weight. You get stuck in traffic, you gotta have patience. You can't just take the shoulder and get to where you gotta go, right? You gotta wait in traffic. So that's having patience and time as well. Another thing would be, if you're at a customer and they're not unloading you or loading you right away, it's patience to that as well, right? So it's patience and time, I think, are the 2 top things that you need when you come onto truck driving, because without those, it's just not gonna work. I didn't want to make this video too long, so I would say those are the two most important things about truck driving, you know, besides your health. Obviously, time and patience is gonna be key to, you know, to keeping your job and doing your job right. Because if you have patience, you know, everything goes more smoothly. You know, you can't just be rushing everything or rushing through traffic or, you know, going over the speed limit, because then that could cause a lot of issues, accidents. So you just have to learn how to, you know, obey the rules on the road, and just, you know, stay calm and just have time, you know, throughout the day. If you're gonna be stuck at a rail yard, there's nothing you can really do about it. It's very stressful as well. So you just gotta make sure you, you know, make a plan, figure something out to where it all works out. But yeah, that's some advice I could give you guys. Just some info that might be helpful for you guys. But if you guys are thinking about truck driving, just, you know, take these two things that I told you kind of serious, because there's no point in you going to school, getting your CDL, and spending all that money and then not being able to work out, you know. So, and if you guys are interested in truck driving, just go ahead and go to school, take your test, get your permit, and then do your driving test, and hopefully you can get your CDL and start making some good money. But another thing I was gonna say, if you really want things to work out your way, your best option would be to become an owner operator. That's just because, you know, you're in charge of your schedule. You know, you'll be in charge of your own truck. But I guess the downfall of that would be the maintenance at your truck. But I mean, that's pretty much it. You know, you can do as many runs as you want. Well, not as many, but just to keep it to the limit, you know, the drive time. And that was pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed the info I shared with you guys. And yeah, just think about what you guys want to do. And that should be it for today's video.